Welcome back. Thank you because you are still tuned in to our program. As we promised before we went for our break, we are back again. And now we want to talk about our careers. We still have our wonderful panelists with us. From my extreme left, we have Beatrice, we have Caleb, we have Pastor Ndirangu, and we have Karen. So we are going straight to discuss about career. And I know this is a topic that is of much interest to our young people because most of them are already in careers. They are already pursuing what they believe is their career. Some are still somewhere in between. They haven't yet decided exactly what they want to do. There are those who already have been in careers or in a career for some time, and they feel like probably they are not in where they are supposed to be, and they would want to change. So I really believe and trust God that you are going to benefit a lot from this session. Before we go into the detail of what we are going to discuss, maybe for the sake of one or two people who are wondering, what is a career? Is a career the same as a job? I'm already working, I'm in a job. Can I say this is my career? And I would want to ask our panelists just to shed light on what a career is, and if possible, maybe differentiate it between a job and a career. I will ask again our wonderful lady, Beatrice, just to give us a highlight on that.
I am going to define it in a shortly way possible. Occupation, it's just an occupation whereby you've been trained. You've gotten some skills, maybe you've gone to school and this is what you're doing for life. So a job could be just you're doing it just to stand in before your career comes up. Like for example, what I'm doing now.
You can, for the sake of our viewers, you can tell us what you're doing and maybe what your career is, so that they start understanding.
I am a counselor by profession, but currently I'm just doing some practice as a receptionist. So I'm dealing with people. Hospitality is still there. So instead of just staying in the house, I need to do something. Even if I'm getting tokens, I'm not despising that humble beginning, because I know with my CVs, past experience, once a chance comes up again, I'm going to apply again, and I'm going to go far. So I can say it's an opportunity, it's an occupation where what you've trained of. Yes, maybe somebody else can add something.
Wonderful. Caleb?
I can define career as that individual's way of earning a living that, as she said, you've trained for, but I also think sometimes it is comes out of maybe a talent, for example, that can be a career.
Yes. Just before I forget and want to bring in the difference between maybe a job and a career, I like what Beatrice said. She's a career counselor, but currently doing a job as a receptionist. So those are the distinctions between a career and a job. Karen, what is a career in your view?
Okay, a career can be defined as an occupation that gives you an opportunity for growth because you will engage in that occupation for an extended period of time, hence it will give you an experience.
Yes, opportunity for growth. I like that point, opportunity for growth, and it is usually spread over a long period of time. Pastor, maybe you can tell us something?
I don't have much to say about that, but I can only say what they are saying is true, because there is a definition between the two, a job and a career, because you cannot call something that someone is not trained for a career. So what you are doing and you are not trained for, you cannot call that a career. So I believe what they have been trained for, it's what they call a career. And that is, and I believe that was the question that you asked. So what they can tell us, it is to give more of what they do as a definition of that. They can tell us what they do and give us a definition of that in a broad way.
Thank you, Pastor, for that addition. Then probably we'll still go back to Beatrice and ask her, in your career as a counselor, would you say that you have the training? Would you say it gives you opportunity for growth? Would you say it is something that you want to engage in for the better part of your life, just for the sake of a clear understanding so that there is not this confusion of a job, a career, and all that?
Basically, I can say I have the exposure. I used to work before my contract came to an end. So instead of just staying in the house, sometimes I could just go and volunteer. But Sahi, I can say I'm good at it. I'm good. I have the skills, and it also helps me to match into different things like what I'm doing currently. So kama una volunteer and you've trained of something, itakusaidia, but just being there and not doing something, you want to grow. So you need to grow, you need to step out and do something. Again, when you're doing something, you need to look at your goals and work with a time frame. Maybe this is what I can save, this is what I can do, this is how much I can earn, and you need just to go an extra mile and everything will be okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additions, Caleb?
Yes, there is a difference between a career and a job. As a job, you can use it as maybe a way of earning your living. And a career, yes, it is that you can hold it for a period of time. As for me, as you are saying, we can talk about if we can continue to learn in it. Yes, currently I'm working, but within me, I have that urge to continue learning more. I cannot say that I am good at it as it is, because in my field there are so many avenues of what you can do. I'm in finance and accounting, so there is things, there are those things like audit, tax expertise, financial analysis, and all that. So I need more of experience before now I can establish a niche and say now this is what I want to pursue. So because within that finance and accounting, there is a wide field that you can tap into, and I think for the purpose of being focused, you need to tap into one and run with it. Yes.
Okay, to add on that, sorry for interrupting. I'm not saying that that's perfect. So we say that every day is a learning process. So, but I believe I have experience, having worked out, having volunteered. So I can say that I'm competent in a way. Sikai kama mtu mwenye ametoka shule juzi, mwenye haja handle clients, haja handle patients. So I just needed to add that point so that it can come out clear. Thank you.
Amen. So a career, you grow it over time through experience, training, learning, and a series of jobs. You want to add anything, Karen?
Okay. What I can say, personally, besides what I'm doing, online business, besides paying my bills, I'm contented with what I'm doing, and there is freedom. When I say freedom, I don't mean working at any time, but there is that freedom. Entrepreneurs can tell you the freedom you get. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, we have understood what career is. And a young person out there could be wondering, I'm in school, I'm in school, and I really don't know what career I should choose or what I should become in future. When we go through the scriptures, we can never find direct instructions on what we should become. Like, for example, you'll never find in the Bible or even through prayer that you are supposed to be an engineer, you are supposed to be a doctor, not those kinds of professions. But in the scriptures, we realize that the Bible is full of instructions that guide us in how our lives are supposed to glorify God. As we live our lives as Christians, even through our careers and the things that we do, we realize that the Bible constantly guides us in a way that our lives can glorify God. So we want to help our young people out there, those who are wondering, how do I know what career to get into? How do I choose a course that will help me get into the career that I aspire? And how do I align my strengths and my goals and my purpose to my career? Because I know for sure that one can spend a lifetime pursuing a career and never get fulfilled. So there is something in us that God created us. The Bible tells us in the book of Psalms 139 that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. What it means is that we have been created so fearfully and uniquely for specific accomplishments in our life here. So we want to share our thoughts and probably give an advice to a young person who is aspiring to become something. From a biblical perspective, what advice can we give somebody who wants to choose a career? Again, our wonderful panelists. We'll start with you, Beatrice.
Okay. As I'm thinking of it, we need to set, we need to be realistic and have attainable goals. You need to be real. This is what I can do. This is what I cannot do. Kuna ile story ya vijana wa siku hizi, this is what they are doing. Vijana wa siku hizi, this is how they are spending their time. So you need to know who you are, what you want, and what are your capabilities for you to attain these goals. Thank you.
What I can say is, if you are looking for something to do, I think, first of all, I would like to discourage parents defining the way a child should take. Number one is saying, maybe you got an A, this is what you qualify for. That is a wrong approach to a career. That is the worst mistake, and everybody you see making. Somebody got an A, and because you qualify for medicine, that is where you are going. The Bible says in Romans 12:6, we are gifted differently. So within a class, we get all of us an A. All of us go into accounting. You'll realize that we are gifted differently. Someone will go into tax and become an expert in tax. I will, for example, become an expert in financial analysis. You'll see that we are different people. We got the same grade, but we are different people. So the first thing I would advise is, what are you gifted at? What is your talent? What do you want? What do you like dealing with? For example, if, I like talking, I like engaging with people, that is automatically can tell you this is somebody you can fit so well into the marketing industry, public relations. You can become a counselor like her, because people like talking. You can see a very big difference with accountants. Accountants like sitting in a quiet place, looking at the figures and maybe making a decision out of it, or making some reports out of it without being disturbed. Sometimes I'll give you an example of myself. Sometimes I like going to work on, okay, our place is flexible. Sometimes I like going to work on Sunday because the place is quiet. Because that during that time you like not being disturbed. You can do your work without being disturbed. So first of all, you see what you are gifted at. Number two is maybe passion. Passion can inform you. What do you like doing? What do you love doing that you can do continuously? That should also inform you of the career you can tap into.
Thank you. Passion. Karen?
Okay. Apart from passion and the gifts and the talents that you have, we can also talk about the place of prayer. Let me say this. Like I said before, I'm a conservationist by profession. I was an intern somewhere, and then the contract was not renewed. Okay, I had to go back to asking myself, what is there in my hands? What other skill do I have? Because you see, by the end of the day, I have bills to foot. So I have to ask myself, what other skills do I have? What is there in my hands? And then I remembered, oh, I can write. I have some skills on online marketing, and I did it. But before I made that decision that this is what I will pursue, I had to pray. I had to ask God, what is my purpose? Show me what I should do. Yeah, so I think before you pick any career, pray. Ask God for guidance. Thank you.
Wow, the place of prayer. Pastor Ndirangu, your advice.
What they are saying, they are very correct, and I really appreciate what they are saying. They seem to know where they are heading. What Caleb said about parents, sometimes as parents, we force our children to take careers that are not of their choice. And we really force that because I'm a lawyer. I want my son to be a lawyer so that he can inherit the law firm from me. And sometimes we tend to be more considerate in our legacy than the life of my son. Is my son happy after being a lawyer? So what drives most parents is the passion, it's the dream. It's the dream. They want the dream to be there for 100 years, for 200 years, but they did not consider the pain that will come with the career that the child, he enforced on the life of the child, that the child did not like the career. So that is, I might tell parents to be more careful when they force careers into their children because of the legacy they want to, the legacy that they desire. We have seen many families, even here in Kenya. By the way, even politically, we are suffering here in Kenya because of the same. Because I'm a politician, I want my son to be a politician so that he can secure the wealth that we have as a family, because if he is a politician, especially in this country, if he or she is a politician in this country, he'll be able to secure our properties and what we own. Because some of these people, they don't own these things legally. So they are looking for somebody who will secure their wealth because they have acquired some of these things in a corrupt way. So we intend to force them, and we force them to take those careers so that they can be in line with what the father or the mother want. So that, I might say, is true, that some parents are misleading their children. And we need to be very careful on misleading them, because I have seen many people after college or after campus and all this, they come home and they give the mother or the father their documents. And nimemaliza shule, you can do what you wanted to do with them. And then they go out there and they start something of what they desired to be. Maybe somebody desired to be a mechanic. It is not wrong to be a mechanic, because today you are driving a car. That car was manufactured by somebody who desired to solve an idea of walking. and solving a problem, it is to make a car. That person is a mechanic. What's the problem in that? Repairing a car, it is not a problem. But when I was growing up, I remember if you didn't finish school and you could be asked by your mother to take a course, many people did not want to be mechanics because it seems mechanic course was like for failed people in life. Even today, people, they haven't changed that notion, that being a mechanic or masonry, those jobs are done by failed people. No. And that is the reason, you know, the reason why we have building coming down today. It is because people, they have taken the notion that construction industry, it is for them that failed in life. Why are we not employing people that, if we could take that as a career, we could employ the right people in these industries. And if we employ the right people in this industry and respect them in these fields, we will not have so much disasters in the country that buildings are falling down. Even though some of these people, they ventured into the businesses without much experience, after staying in that industry for long, they will gain the experience. They will know mixing cement, if it's a plastering, if it's a wall being plastered, they know we need maybe 5 wheelbarrows, 1 cement. I don't know how much they do, but I'm just giving an example. Maybe 5 wheelbarrows to 2 cements. After working there for a long time, you'll gain the experience, and later maybe you can go back to a college somewhere, a part-time college, and you will go there and gain more experience, and you'll given a certificate to prove that you have become now a fully a masonry fundi. So what I'm saying is this: even if we are in these careers that we are in, maybe we were forced by our parents to take a path that we didn't desire, but you can still work out yourself, because maybe right now you are employed because of what you learned in school. That it's like a stepping stone. You can use that as a stepping stone. Slowly, by slowly, maybe you wanted to be a businesswoman or you wanted to be a business lady. You can drive yourself slowly towards what you desired in life. Don't just wake up one morning and just decide that I will not go to that work. Maybe here you have already married, you have children, you have responsibilities. So what will come along with you is disaster. You will fall, and let alone maybe what you inquired or what you have, it will be taken away by auctioneers because you haven't paid your rent, you have arrears, you haven't paid your school fees, you haven't given your family food on the table. So we should also be careful on drifting away from what we learned because we didn't like, because I have seen young people throwing out the papers and just jumping out and going there and decide, I will follow my passion. It is true, some of them, they have followed their passion and they are doing well. But it is something also need meticulously to be planned. Don't just walk out and throw hands like that.
Thank you, Pastor, for your sharing on that. And as Pastor was sharing, something just came to my mind, and I would like us to dwell there just a little bit. When we were growing up, he talked about some people viewing mechanics as something that you do because maybe you have no other options. It is perceived to be, maybe a job or work for those who failed in life, this kind of thing. And I remember when we were growing up, and even now, I still think even now, when young kids would be asked, when you grow up, what would you like to be? Many would say, I would want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be an engineer. It was rare to hear someone saying, I want to be a teacher, or I even want to be a mechanic. I don't know where this kind of mindset came from. Is it that people understand or think that some careers are better than others? Because if somebody would say, maybe among the young children when they were asked, if somebody would put up their hand and say, I want to become a teacher. Remember, they're in a classroom and they are being taught by a teacher. But if somebody said, I want to become a teacher, I'm imagining the rest of the class would laugh. Why is that so? Is it that some careers are more important than others? Beatrice, what are your thoughts?
I think it's how we grew up. You were just told this is what you can do, this is what is best. Other things were hidden, and like the technical skills. So nowhere you were told that if you do this, this is also good for you. I can sum up by saying that don't tell me how your job is good, better than mine. At the end of it all, yours is not feeding mine. It's not feeding me, sorry. So I believe ni vizuri ku respect what other people are doing. People are gifted differently. And I think pia ni venye tuligrow tukiambiwa, this is the only thing you can do. If you get an A, you cannot become a mechanic, just like he has said. So I think we need to change the way things are and say some people are gifted differently. So kazi ya mikono wako sawa, vitabu wako sawa. So let that person be. Wacha watu wa grow the way they want. Thank you.
Before Caleb speaks, I would like someone to read for us Romans chapter 12, and I think